Welcome to the YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub, your one-stop solution for expert guidance, best practices, and actionable knowledge in the world of contact centers. Explore, learn, and enhance contact center skills. Let's see scenario-based most important questions of forecasting method, expert judgment. Let's see scenario 1. New client launch with no historical data. A new insurance client is launching a health claims support desk. No historical volume exists, and the client provides only a high-level customer base size. Question 1. How would you use initial call volume? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. This is a perfect use case for the Delphi method. First, I would form a cross-functional Delphi expert panel. This panel would include a workforce management forecaster, an operations manager familiar with insurance processes, a client subject matter expert, a training lead, and a quality or compliance SMA. Next comes round 1. Each expert independently submits estimates for expected daily call volume, estimated average handle time, likely repeat call behavior, and launch effects such as customer awareness, documentation confusion, and first-time claim questions. In round 2, I consolidate the results. For example, the initial range might be 1,800 to 2,600 calls per day. I then share anonymized expert rationales, not names. These might include insights such as the client expects claim filing confusion in the first few weeks. Operations anticipates 20% repeat calls during the launch phase. Quality predicts higher error rates, leading to longer AHT. In round 3, experts refine their estimates using these shared insights. This process typically leads to convergence. The final output might be a forecast of 2,200 calls per day, along with clearly documented drivers, assumptions, and risk items. This result allows workforce management to confidently plan staffing levels, training RAM strategy, skill alignment, and launch day buffers. The scenario takeaway is simple. Delphi replaces missing data with structured, cross-functional expertise, turning uncertainty into a defensible, actionable forecast. Next scenario is sudden policy change expected to trigger customer confusion. The bank announces a new loan restructuring policy. No historical analog exists. Question 2. How would Delphi help you forecast the spike? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this situation, I would trigger a rapid Delphi cycle. The reason is simple. Customer reaction, not historical data, will drive demand. I would bring together experts closest to both the customer and the process. These experts would independently estimate the expected uplift percentage, the call categories most likely to spike, the expected increase in average handle time, and the peak days when volume is likely to surge. If the first round produces wide ranges, for example, uplift estimates ranging from 30% to 90%, that tells us uncertainty is still high. In that case, I would run additional Delphi rounds to refine assumptions. As rationales are shared anonymously, patterns begin to emerge. For example, a marketing expert may flag high social media confusion. An operations expert may predict repeat calls due to multi-step documentation. A quality expert may identify low first call resolution risk during the initial phase. After refinement, Delphi typically converges to a tighter, more usable output. The final Delphi result might show an expected uplift of 55 to 65% and an average handle time increase of 25%. I would then translate these insights into staffing buffers, scenario-based capacity plans, and real-time monitoring triggers. The scenario takeaway is this. Delphi clarifies customer behavior volatility during policy changes, allowing the organization to prepare rather than react. Next scenario is system migration causing errors and repeat calls. A platform migration will take 48 hours. Past migrations were inconsistent, so historical data isn't useful. Question 3. How do you use Delphi to estimate repeat call impact? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. First, I would assemble a focused Delphi expert panel. This panel would include experts who understand the technology platform, operations workflows, quality and error trends, and customer digital behavior. In round 1, each expert independently estimates the expected repeat call percentage, the likely issue type distribution, the peak window when failures are most visible, and the expected average handle time for troubleshooting. If the first round shows heavy variation, for example, repeat call estimates ranging from 20% to 60%, that signals uncertainty. In round 2 and 3, Delphi helps surface the reasoning behind the numbers. For instance, a technology expert may point out authentication failures seen in early error logs. An operations expert may recall that similar migrations previously caused 40% repeat calls. A quality expert may warn that first call resolution will drop due to a new user interface. After these insights are shared anonymously, experts revise their estimates. This process typically leads to convergence. The final Delphi output might show repeat calls of approximately 45% and an average handle time increase of 30%. These results allow workforce management to plan for surge volumes, longer handle times, and appropriate staffing buffers during the migration window. The scenario takeaway is clear. Delphi reduces uncertainty during technical disruptions, enabling proactive and resilient capacity planning. Next scenario is marketing launch expected to drive unplanned volume. Marketing releases an aggressive cashback campaign without notifying WFM early. Question 4. How do you forecast using Delphi under time pressure? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this situation, I would run a compressed to round Delphi cycle. The focus is on speed and relevance. I would quickly engage experts to capture marketing's expected response and messaging reach, operations view on customer confusion, insights from similar past campaigns, the types of inquiries most likely to spike, and the expected self-service versus voice channel shift. In round 1, experts submit rapid estimates. For example, uplift estimates might come back as 15%, 40%, 50%, 25%, and 30%. This widespread immediately signals high risk and uncertainty. I then summarize the range and share anonymized rationales. In round 2, experts refine their estimates based on shared insights. At this stage, the inputs typically converge. For example, the panel may align around an uplift of approximately 32 to 35%. and an average handle time increase of 15% due to offer complexity. I then immediately translate these outputs into action. I use the uplift to adjust the base forecast. Add contingency FTEs. Set up intraday monitoring and reforecast triggers. And inform operations of expected spike timing and risk windows. The scenario takeaway is this. Delphi creates a defensible, data-backed emergency forecast, even when marketing triggers unplanned demand at the last minute. Next scenario is identifying why forecasts failed last month. Call volume exceeded forecast by 18% last month. Leadership wants to know why. Question 5. How would you use Delphi to perform a post-mortem analysis? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this case, I would run a Delphi diagnostic round rather than a traditional forecast round. I would ask a cross-functional panel of experts to estimate the percentage contribution of each factor, such as average handle time, repeat calls, technology issues, seasonality, or defects. Any drivers that were missed during the original forecast, and the process gaps that allowed these drivers to go unnoticed. As experts explain their reasoning, Delphi begins to surface clear patterns. For example, an operations expert may reveal that a new billing format confused customers, driving a volume spike. A training expert may identify low agent proficiency, leading to reduced first call resolution. A quality expert may point out scripting errors, which increased repeat contacts. And a technology expert may highlight system latency, which inflated average handle time. After several structured rounds, the group converges on quantified root causes. For instance, 10% of the increase may be attributed to billing confusion, 5% to lower first call resolution, and 3% to an average handle time spike. This breakdown allows leadership to see exactly where the forecast failed and why. The scenario takeaway is clear. Delphi transforms forecast misses into quantified root causes, enabling targeted corrective actions rather than generic blame. Next scenario is major outage expected tonight. A major outage is scheduled from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. You must forecast the next morning's surge. Question 6. How can Delphi help you build a surge recovery forecast? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this situation, historical patterns are unreliable, so I would immediately trigger a rapid Delphi cycle. First, I would gather subject matter experts who understand typical outage-driven customer behavior, levels of customer urgency, and the types of system errors most likely to occur. Each expert would independently estimate the expected backlog size, the peak surge timing after systems recover, the call types likely to dominate, the average handle time for outage troubleshooting, and the likelihood of repeat calls if issues persist. In round 1, the estimates may vary widely. For example, surge factors might come back as 2 times, 3 times, 1.5 times, and 4 times normal volume. This widespread signals high uncertainty. In round 2, I would share anonymized rationales and filter weak assumptions. As experts react to shared insights, convergence begins. The refined Delphi output may indicate a surge of approximately 2.5 times normal volume, an HT increase of 35%, and a concentrated burst window from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. I then immediately translate these insights into action. They drive surge staffing plans, overtime and callback strategies, and routing or queue prioritization changes to protect service levels. The scenario takeaway is this. Delphi creates a real-time surge recovery plan when historical data fails, allowing operations to respond with confidence during high-impact outages. Next scenario is scenario predicting volume for a multi-channel event, voice plus chat plus email. A product launch is expected to impact all channels differently. Question 7. How would Delphi help estimate channel distribution? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this case, I would run channel-specific Delphi rounds. Each expert would independently estimate the percentage of customers who will call, the percentage who will shift to chat, the percentage who will use email, and the expected concurrency impact, especially for chat. Once the inputs are collected, Delphi helps reveal clear behavioral patterns. For example, the results may converge around voice handling 55% of inquiries driven by complex issues, chat handling 30%, mainly quick clarifications, and email accounting for 15%, typically documentation-related questions. Experts would also refine average handle time by channel based on issue complexity and customer effort. These Delphi outputs directly enable operational planning. They support multi-channel staffing models, accurate chat concurrency calculations, effective skill-based routing plans, and smart queue prioritization across channels. The scenario takeaway is this. Delphi enables granular, channel-wise forecasting when historical patterns are unknown, making it ideal for complex, multi-channel product launches. Next scenario is, leadership wants a single forecast, but Delphi output shows high uncertainty. The Delphi range for new product launch is wide, 1,500 to 3,500 calls day. Question 8. How would you communicate and operationalize this uncertainty? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this situation, I would not force a single-point forecast. Instead, I would convert the Delphi output into a scenario-based plan. Using the Delphi range, I define 3 clear scenarios. The best-case scenario assumes 1,500 calls per day. The most likely scenario uses a weighted Delphi consensus of approximately 2,600 calls per day. And the worst-case scenario plans for 3,500 calls per day. Next, I operationalize these scenarios. I design flexible staffing models rather than fixed schedules. I identify reserve or on-call FTEs. I use split shifts to cover potential surge windows. I set up a real-time command center for close monitoring. And I define trigger-based intraday reforecast points, so staffing adjusts as demand becomes clearer. When communicating this to leadership, I frame it clearly and honestly. I explain. The wide Delphi range indicates unpredictable customer behavior. Forcing a single number would create operational and SLA risk. Scenario-based planning reduces that risk and protects service levels. The scenario takeaway is this. Delphi supports risk-based planning, not blind single-number forecasting. When uncertainty is high, preparedness beats false precision. Next scenario is conflicting forecasts between client and internal teams. The client predicts 5,000 calls day, but internal OPS and WFM estimate 3,200 to 3,600. Leadership asks for a unified plan. Question: would you use Delphi to resolve this conflict? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this case, I would initiate an urgent, cross-functional Delphi cycle. The expert panel would include client subject matter experts, internal WFM forecasters, operations leads, and quality and training leads. In round 1, each group submits its estimates independently and anonymously. This ensures there is no pressure to align prematurely. In round 2, I summarize the estimates and, most importantly, share the rationales, not the names. This is where the real alignment begins. For example, the client team may believe marketing reach will be far larger than expected. Operations may point out that similar past events produced much lower volume. Quality may highlight recent improvements in first call resolution, reducing repeat contacts. And WFM may show that last year's uplift patterns contradict the client's assumptions. Through this structured reasoning exchange, Delphi typically drives natural convergence. Rather than choosing sides, the forecast often lands between the extremes. For example, around 4,000 to 4,200 calls per day. The final action plan is risk-balanced. We staff for the most likely consensus scenario, while preparing flex capacity to protect against the upper bound. The scenario takeaway is clear. Delphi creates consensus without confrontation. By focusing on evidence and reasoning, not authority or opinion, it aligns clients and internal teams while maintaining operational stability. Next scenario is multilanguage call center expansion. A new multilingual support line, English, Hindi, Spanish, is being introduced. No prior language level volume split exists. Question 10. How would Delphi help estimate language mix? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this case, I would run a cross-functional Delphi exercise. The expert panel would include marketing representatives, client teams, geography or market leads, and operations managers. Each expert would independently estimate the percentage of the customer base expected to prefer each language, likely contact and channel preferences by language, potential knowledge gaps that may increase support demand, and average handle time differences across languages. After collecting and refining inputs through structured Delphi rounds, clear patterns emerge. A typical Delphi output might show English handling 50% of contacts, Hindi handling 35%, and Spanish handling 15%. Experts may also identify complexity differences. For example, Spanish interactions may be more complex, resulting in an average handle time increase of 20%. These insights directly guide operational planning. They inform language-based skill mapping, hiring and capacity plans, queue routing and overflow logic, and training batch design by language. The scenario takeaway is this. Delphi enables precise skill-based capacity planning even when historical language-level data does not exist. By blending market insight with operational knowledge, Delphi turns uncertainty into a structured launch plan. Next scenario is seasonal spike with highly variable year-on-year behavior. Last year's festive season volumes were inconsistent due to external factors. This year seems similar. Question 11. How does Delphi help when historical seasonality is unreliable? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this situation, I would use Delphi to collect forward-looking expert insight rather than replicate last year's numbers. I would ask experts to estimate the expected uplift driven by promotions, anticipated customer sentiment during the festive period, changes in holiday travel behavior, e-commerce activity patterns, and the likelihood of system overloads under peak demand. Through structured Delphi rounds, experts often surface hidden drivers that raw data misses. For example, this year's deeper discounts may generate far more inquiries than last year. Increased digital adoption may lead to more app-related issues. And reduced staffing availability may increase average handle time. As insights are shared and refined, Delphi typically converges to a more realistic forecast. For instance, the panel may align on an uplift of 45 to 55%. Even if historical data suggests only a 25% uplift. This adjustment is critical. It helps prevent underforecasting, avoids service-level breaches, and ensures adequate capacity planning during peak seasons. The scenario takeaway is this. Delphi extracts driver-level insight instead of blindly replicating historical seasonality, making it essential when year-on-year behavior is unstable. Next scenario is new bot automation deployment expected to reduce call volume. The company deploys a new AI chatbot expected to deflect 30-40% of queries. OPS doubts this. Question 12. How do you use Delphi to estimate the true? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this situation, I would form a Delphi panel with diverse expertise. The panel would include a digital transformation SME, operations supervisors, quality leads, workforce management analysts, and IT or bot design specialists. In round 1, each expert independently estimates the expected deflection percentage. At this stage, opinions may vary widely, for example, from 10% to 40%. This wide range immediately signals uncertainty. In round 2, I share anonymized rationales behind the estimates. Key insights may emerge. Operations may point out that bots struggle with emotional or complex calls. Quality teams may highlight that existing bots currently deflect only 12 to 18%. IT may explain that the new NLP model is significantly improved. And WFM may show that only 28% of current call categories are realistically bot-capable. As these perspectives are shared, experts revise their estimates. After refinement, Delphi typically converges toward a more realistic outcome. For example, the group may align around a 22 to 25% deflection rate. This final estimate is then used for planning. It prevents overestimating automation impact, avoids understaffing, and ensures service levels are protected during the transition. The scenario takeaway is clear. Delphi corrects over-optimistic automation assumptions, turning hype-driven expectations into operationally safe forecasts. Next scenario is forecasting chat volume during an app outage. The banking app is unstable. Chat is expected to spike before voice. Question 13. How would Delphi help forecast multi-step behavioral shifts? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this case, I use Delphi to map the order of customer behavior, not just volume. I ask experts to estimate how customers typically react, step by step. The expected sequence looks like this. First, customers try the app. Next, they switch to chat when the app fails. Then, unresolved issues escalate to voice. And finally, a small number may send follow-up emails. During Delphi rounds, expert reasoning reveals critical dynamics. A technology expert explains that login failures will immediately push users to chat. An operations expert warns that chat AHT can double during outages due to troubleshooting. A quality expert highlights that voice volume rises later when chat or bot interactions fail to fully resolve issues. After structured discussion and refinement, Delphi converges on clear, actionable insights. For example, a chat surge of 70 to 90%, a voice surge of 30 to 40%, occurring 1 to 2 hours later, and a 50% increase in chat AHT. These insights allow workforce management to act proactively. They can preposition chat agents, adjust chat concurrency limits, and prepare for the delayed voice spike rather than reacting too late. The scenario takeaway is this. Delphi enables forecasting of multi-channel behavioral sequencing, not just total volume, making it especially powerful during digital outages. Next scenario is volume surge expected due to viral social media trend. A trending complaint video about your service is going viral. Question 14. How do you apply Delphi to forecast volume triggered by social sentiment? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this case, I would run a rapid Delphi cycle with experts closest to both sentiment and operations. The expert panel would include a social media analytics lead, an operations manager, a marketing subject matter expert, a client SME, and workforce management. Through Delphi, we capture inputs that traditional forecasting models cannot. Experts assess the velocity of the social trend, the sentiment score and emotional intensity, the severity and credibility of the complaint, the likelihood of mass escalation, and insights from past social-triggered volume spikes. In the second Delphi round, shared rationales begin to clarify risk. For example, the social analytics expert may report that engagement is doubling every 6 hours. Operations may recall that similar viral incidents previously caused a 60% call increase. The client SME may flag expected media or press coverage, which amplifies exposure. As these insights are combined and refined, Delphi converges toward a usable forecast range. For instance, the panel may align on a 55 to 70% uplift in contact volume, concentrated over the next 48 hours. These outputs are immediately actionable. They guide emergency staffing and overtime decisions, queue prioritization and escalation handling, and real-time monitoring thresholds as sentiment evolves. The scenario takeaway is this. Delphi blends social sentiment, marketing signals, and operational experience to forecast unpredictable, viral-driven demand spikes when data alone is too slow or incomplete. Next scenario is, client wants volume split by call type for a new process. Call types, eligibility, documentation, status check. No historical split exists. Question 15. How would Delphi estimate the category mix? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this situation, I would run Delphi rounds focused on category level estimation. Each expert independently estimates the percentage of contacts expected in each category. In round 1, these estimates may vary widely, which is expected. In round 2, I share anonymized rationales behind the estimates. This is where insight emerges. Experts may explain that eligibility-related confusion will be highest during the initial launch phase. Documentation inquiries will peak a few days later once customers begin submitting paperwork. And status check calls are more likely to rise after the first week as customers track progress. As experts refine their inputs using this shared logic, Delphi converges. A realistic consensus might look like eligibility at 50%, documentation at 30%, and status check at 20%. These outputs are immediately actionable. They help workforce management allocate skilled agents by category, design targeted knowledge support, and plan routing logic aligned to customer needs. The scenario takeaway is clear. Delphi clarifies category-level demand when historical splits do not exist, enabling smarter routing and staffing from day one. Next scenario is, leadership insists on a minimal staffing model, but Delphi indicates high risk. Delphi forecast suggests worst-case volume 40% higher than leadership wants to plan for. Question 16. How would you use Delphi insights to influence decisions? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this situation, I would shift the conversation from opinion to risk and impact. I would present the Delphi worst-case scenario clearly and objectively. Next, I would explain the drivers behind the risk, such as training gaps, policy-related customer confusion, and potential system issues. Then, I would show SLA impact models under a minimal staffing plan. This makes the consequences visible. I would also quantify the cost of failure, including SLA penalties, customer churn, reputational and brand impact. Rather than asking for maximum staffing, I would propose a balanced, risk-aware approach. Specifically, staff for the Delphi most likely scenario. Keep flex or reserve staffing ready for the worst case. And activate overtime or surge capacity only when trigger thresholds are breached. When communicating this to leadership, I would frame it clearly. Delphi insights indicate high exposure risk due to predictable customer confusion. Planning only for the minimum significantly increases the probability of SLA breaches. The scenario takeaway is this. Delphi strengthens risk communication and enables data-driven persuasion, aligning cost control with operational safety instead of forcing false certainty. Next scenario is planning for a new compliance rule that may trigger panic calls. A regulatory compliance change goes live next week. Last time a similar rule was introduced, calls spiked unexpectedly. This time, the rule is more complicated. 17. How would Delphi help you predict potential panic-driven surges? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this situation, I would run a focused Delphi cycle with experts closest to regulation, customers, and execution. The panel would include compliance specialists, operations leaders, quality assurance, and client subject matter experts. Each expert would independently estimate the likelihood of customer panic, the impact on call complexity, the probability of repeat calls, and the early adoption curve immediately after rollout. In round 1, estimates are likely to vary widely, for example, uplift ranging from 15% to 80%. This wide range clearly signals uncertainty and emotional risk. In round 2, anonymized rationales are shared. Critical insights typically emerge. Compliance may highlight strict regulatory timelines that increase urgency. Operations may note that customers often misunderstand documentation steps. Quality may anticipate higher error handling and rework. And the client may reveal that customer notices will be sent only 24 hours before rollout, amplifying confusion. After experts refine their estimates using these shared insights, Delphi usually converges. A realistic outcome might be an expected uplift of 45 to 55%, along with an average handle time increase of 30%. Workforce management then converts these insights into action. They prepare surge staffing, extended operating hours, and specialized escalation handling teams to manage panic-driven contacts. The scenario takeaway is this: Delphi predicts emotion-driven demand spikes more effectively than historical models. Because it captures customer psychology, regulatory complexity, and operational reality before the surge hits. Next scenario is unexpected decline in call volume during a normally busy month. You notice that volumes are much lower than expected in week 1 of the month. Historical data alone cannot explain it. Question 18. How would you use Delphi to diagnose and forecast the... Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this situation, I would initiate a Delphi diagnostic round, not a standard forecasting round. I would bring together experts from operations, quality, digital or self-service teams, and client stakeholders. The goal is to understand why actual behavior has deviated from the forecast. Each expert is asked to explain what has changed operationally, what customer behaviors look different, and whether the decline appears temporary or structural. As rationales are shared, Delphi typically surfaces insights that raw data cannot. For example, digital teams may report increased success in self-service channels. Quality may confirm a reduction in billing or processing errors. The client may highlight clearer customer communication. Operations may note recent product or system stabilization. And some experts may point to external market factors affecting demand. After structured discussion and refinement, Delphi converges on a clearer diagnosis. For instance, the group may conclude that 20 to 25% of the volume reduction is structural, driven by self-service adoption, and only 5 to 8% is temporary, related to short-term effects. Using these insights, I would recalibrate the forecast for the remaining weeks of the month. Instead of forcing volumes back to historical expectations, the revised forecast reflects new customer behavior and demand reality. The scenario takeaway is this: Delphi reveals emerging behavioral shifts that traditional data cannot yet detect, allowing forecasts to adapt to reality instead of clinging to outdated assumptions. Next scenario is forecasting volume for a cross-sell campaign with multiple touchpoints. The campaign includes email plus SMS plus WhatsApp plus app banners. Contact behavior is complex and nonlinear. Question 19. How does Delphi help forecast events? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this situation, I would run a Delphi cycle with cross-functional experts, including marketing, digital and app teams, client subject matter experts, and operations leaders. Each expert independently estimates the percentage of customers likely to respond, the escalation paths, such as chat escalating to voice, the probability of repeat contacts, and the expected peak hours by channel. As Delphi rounds progress, the reasoning behind estimates becomes visible. For example, marketing may indicate that WhatsApp messaging has the strongest response rate. Digital experts may note that Abana adoption is relatively low. Operations may highlight that cross-sell conversations have higher average handle time. Quality teams may warn that unclear messaging can quickly trigger complaint-driven calls. As these insights are shared and refined, Delphi converges toward a realistic channel mix. A final consensus might look like WhatsApp accounting for 50% of inquiries, voice for 30%, chat for 15%, and email for 5%. These outputs directly inform planning. They allow workforce management to build a multi-channel staffing model, prepare for escalation-driven voice demand, adjust HT assumptions, and align skill routing across channels. The scenario takeaway is this: Delphi decodes complex, multi-channel dependency and interaction patterns, making it ideal for forecasting nonlinear, cross-trigger campaigns where simple averages fail. Next scenario is backlog clearance after a long holiday weekend. A 3-day holiday caused no operations. Now you expect a backlog across voice, chat, and email. Question 20. How would Delphi help calculate the backlog recovery forecast? Think for a moment. And the answer is here. In this situation, I would run a focused Delphi exercise with experts from operations, workforce management, quality assurance, and client teams. Each expert independently estimates the volume carryover from the holiday period, the new incoming volume expected once operations resume, the likely increase in average handle time due to urgency and complexity, customer frustration levels, and the expected early queue abandonment behavior. As Delphi rounds progress, expert insights begin to align. For example, the panel may converge on a backlog equivalent to 1.8 times a normal Monday load, new incoming volume equal to a standard Monday, and an average handle time increase of 20% driven by pent-up demand and emotional intensity. These outputs allow workforce management to build a time-bound recovery plan. Specifically, a 2 to 3 day recovery strategy that includes extended staffing and overtime, priority routing for backlog contacts, and temporary skill redeployment across channels. The scenario takeaway is this: Delphi quantifies both backlog volume and the emotional complexity of post-holiday surges, enabling structured, realistic recovery planning instead of reactive firefighting. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights. See you in the next video.